Hollywoodlife Cast, where we bring you the best exclusive celebrity news, the juicy celebrity interviews, insider secrets about all of your favorite stars. And now your host, former editor-in-chief of Cosmo, Glamour, and Us Weekly, the president and editor-in-chief of Hollywoodlife.com, Bonnie Fuller!
Hey guys, we are so excited to be here with you again today. We've got a really fun show full of juicy news. We're focusing on news these days on these shows. And Kendall Jenner just turned 21 and she had a big birthday party last night. We can give you all the inside details. Plus, is the romance with Harry Styles back on? Then there was just a couple of very important people who didn't come to the party, Blac Chyna and Rob. But is that because they're getting ready for her to give birth on TV for hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's what we're going to tell you about. Nick Carey, why did she get dumped? Why is the wedding off? We've got to discuss. And then another former one-deer, Zayn Malik, came out with a book this week in which he revealed that he had an eating disorder. So we are going to discuss it all and give you all the inside scoop. But before we get to that, I'm not alone here in my Hollywood Life podcast studio. I am here with our fashion director, Katrina Mitzeliotis.
We take the clothes from the homeless people and we sell them in the shop.
Jack up the price.
And then the homeless people cannot buy them.
Definitely.
Yeah. That is the beauty of fashion.
Yeah.
New intro there. So very interesting. Little Bruno.
Yeah,
Maybe it needs a little work.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. I that's not something that I see you do, Katrina. Take clothes away from poor homeless people.
No, definitely not about it. Well, there I am.
No, or is that the start of it's like the start of the announcement about
probably.
of our producer's intro, Gino Orlandini.
Hello? Hey, bud. Whoa! What's up? Dude, what's up? Hey! Fuck, my phone's fucking up.
Dude, what's up? What's going on? So happy to be here on the Hollywood Life Podcast. We have a lot to get to. And we are doing our first ever video recording of our Hollywood Life Podcast. So we'll see how this goes.
Hi there.
Could be a disaster, but don't worry for our loyal listeners. We'll keep it focused on the audio content first. But we should remind people to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. That would be super nice of you.
We love it when you do that.
Yeah. Reviews are always great. And the feedback is so welcome. And, we always listen to it. Sometimes we follow along. So,
yes. And Gino likes to read them on air when we get a review. He's just checking out whether we have any new ones. We had a bunch for a couple weeks there.
When we go away, they miss us.
I know. And we are recording a little bit late today. Sorry, guys.
All right. We do have a new review. It's pretty exciting.
Yay.
It's from ICU2, who gives us 4 stars, which is pretty good.
Not bad.
She says, good idea changing up the format of this podcast. I have to say there are some days I have to shut it down because of either who is getting interviewed, the relevance of the interview, or who's doing it. Not saying it's all bad. Loved New York Muscle Radio because the conversation had substance. Snooki and JWoww were fun, and there was definitely been some other good ones, but some were also random, irrelevant. This is kind of a long review. She also says, also love Katrina. She has a great radio voice.
Thank you.
Maybe put Bonnie on the interview since she's great at that. And how about getting reporter Eric Ray on the show? I love him. He does a great job with the news.
Hey,
so,
big shout out to Eric Ray, who's on our YouTube videos.
Yeah. So I created a new segment for Eric Ray called Eric Ray in LA, where he talks about his exclusive reporting. It's all filmed on location in LA, where he's getting all his scoops. So definitely check out our segment Eric Ray in LA on YouTube. It's a hot one.
Yeah, and I like the idea, Bonnie. We should interview you on the podcast.
Interview me?
Yeah. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting stuff to say.
I think what they were saying is they like it when Bonnie conducts the interviews.
Oh, that makes sense. I know,
get
but
it.
I feel like I don't know. I always
Katrina
like
wants
Bonnie's.
to conduct an interview
I
with
like
me.
your stories, Bonnie. Bonnie has a lot of experience and wisdom to impart.
So, Bonnie, tell us about being Canadian. Just kidding. You're probably going to mention that anyway. But let's get to our new segment, which I like to call new, even though it's new. What are you crushing on? At Katrina CM on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. What are you crushing on this week?
I am going to go with Heidi Klum because I loved her Halloween costume. I cover her party every year for the site. You could see all the pictures and the stories up on Hollywood Life and on our Instagram and my personal Instagram too. And I don't know, I think it's so fun. I love that she always is kind of like the queen of Halloween. And since it just passed, it seems like a good opportunity. So much going on. It's always so nice to have a little fun.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You can never get too much Heidi Klum.
Exactly.
And her costume was her, but dressed with a whole bunch of clone hers, clone Heidi's.
It was crazy. Apparently, it took 2 hours for each girl. They made a cast of Heidi's face, and they were all wearing prosthetics to be kind of like Heidi's clones. Honestly, was it my favorite Heidi costume ever? No, I think next year maybe she'll totally transform again. But
So it was
just
a
love
Heidi
it.
troop,
Yes.
a clan of Heidi's.
And I mean, I love Heidi, so
Do you
bring
remember
on more
what your
Heidis.
favorite costume was?
Last year as Jessica Rabbit, she was unrecognizable. Same when she was an old woman, and I really liked when she did that anatomy thing when she was
that was
the
so
stripped
weird.
body. I love that. I love that she's not afraid to go a little crazy with her costumes, and it's always fun to get dressed up. I don't know. I rehab Project Runway for the site, so I get all Heidi all the time.
I love it when she dresses up as a swimwear model. That's my favorite Heidi Klum costume. Get it?
Yes, Gino,
Okay.
we get it.
Well, that's a great crush. Bonnie Fuller, what are you crushing on this week?
Well,
It's Bonnie _Fuller, I should say, on Instagram, and Bonnie Fuller on Twitter.
Thank you, Gino.
Got it right that time.
Well, I am totally crushing on Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks and their incredible, just spectacular performance of Daddy's Issues at the CMAs. And
It's called Daddy Lessons.
Oh,
Daddy
Daddy
Lessons.
Lessons.
That's what Katrina has, is daddy issues.
No way.
Maybe
Gino.
Ivanka Trump has daddy issues. I would
Yeah,
sure hope
that's
so. So
Don't be
sorry.
dissing Bill Metz.
Not only do I ruin people's names, I also get the titles wrong on songs.
In your defense, it just came out last night. So.
But it was spectacular. There was so much energy. It was a surprise. First of all, we only found out about it a couple of hours in advance that Beyonce was making a surprise performance, and we didn't know that it was with the Dixie Chicks until they all came on stage. And she just had they all had so much energy. It was a fabulous song. You can download it for free today. I've already downloaded it myself. And Beyonce was wearing this white see-through dress. So of course it was plunging. And she just it was like she took over the place.
Very interesting. I feel like it got kind of a mixed reaction, although it was really cool. And I love when, all different musical artists come together.
I think it's great to have crossover, but I think some of the country fans were upset because, they're purists and they think that country should just be old-fashioned country. But the fact of the matter is there's been a lot of crossover already. I mean, look at Taylor Swift. She started as country and now she crossed over to pop and rock. And country artists have got very, Miranda Lambert's, some of her latest songs are very rock and roll.
Yeah,
I mean, Florida Georgia Line's collaborated with Nelly, so we see a lot of crossover.
Yeah. But people might not have known that Beyonce wrote up a straight up country song on this record, and maybe a lot of people, they listened to Lemonade, they saw the videos and stuff, but this one got a little bit buried, and it is just a country song.
Yeah.
So I can see why it's a savvy move on her part, I think, to show this new audience this song, maybe extend her reach a little bit.
Yeah.
As if
100%,
as if
because-
Queen Bee could get any bigger, but she's going for it.
I mean, she probably was like, where are there a bunch of people in a room who may not have seen Lemonade yet? Let me go after them.
Why
Totally.
not? Smart lady. Okay, Gino, who are you crushing on?
Okay, so I have a creepy crush this week. Obviously, we just had Halloween, and it was super great. So I was vibing on some horror movies, and I saw this amazing movie called The Witch. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Oh, it's this Robert Eggers movie, and it's set in sort of what do you call it? It's like the early settlement America.
Salem.
Sort of, yeah, like the Salem witch trials kind of era, and this family who has to like go out and live in the wilderness because of their extreme religiosity, and they sort of start to get haunted. It's kind of like a blend of There Will Be Blood and The Exorcism or something like that. It is super, super creepy, super well done, and it Complex named it the best scary movie of 2016.
Well,
and I think it's going to go down as kind of a classic. So you definitely have to check that out. But for all of my crushes, of course, I always forget to say this. You can follow me at Gino Orlandini on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. We have a lot of news to get to, don't we?
Yeah,
sure do.
so much.
Let's hit it up. We'll be right back.
Okay, can you believe it? Kendall Jenner is only 21. I feel like we've known her so long. How could she just be legal now? She just had her birthday, and she just, of course, had a fabulous party at Catch LA, which is the hot new restaurant out there. I've been there a couple of times myself, have to say. And the food is delish.
Bonnie, you're so trendy.
I know, I've been to 2 parties there already. And she brought the whole family together because Caitlyn was there and Chris and her sisters and Kanye. And the only person who wasn't there, or 2 people, was her brother Rob and, of course, Black China.
Yeah, apparently he said he was going to go and then last minute changed his mind, decided to stay home. You know, Black is very pregnant, but we're hearing
She's
too that
ready to pop any
yeah,
day.
so I understand that, but we're hearing too.
She's
the
been dancing
family.
her ass off on Instagram though. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah,
of her doing,
I know, it's great.
Yeah, but going out, I think a late night, it's definitely different. And I think for her, I think for him, he loves an excuse to stay home. So the family wasn't necessarily surprised by it.
I know, but they do worry whenever he stays home because they worry that he's going to turn into a hermit again.
Well, knowing Black China, I'm sure right after she has that baby, she's going to want to try to get her body back. And sure, that'll be motivation for Rob, too.
Yeah, take him along.
Yeah,
working out together makes it a lot easier. But anyway, so Kendall looked gorgeous. And she had a couple of different outfits. She had this plunging silver mini on.
Yeah.
And then it was a black outfit.
Yeah, it was like a bodysuit and mesh. It was really cool. And everyone in the family looked amazing, too. Kylie was flashing her bra. She was with Tyga. And Kendall just really wanted more of a low-key party. Like Kim, always in Vegas, usually for her birthday bashes. The family kind of loves to take it over the top.
Well, and to make money from their birthday parties.
Of course. But that's not really Kendall's scene.
No. And hey, she doesn't need the money. Not that Kim does either. But, one thing that was interesting was that this is one of the first outings that Kim has had since the robbery. And we found out that Kanye did not leave her side the whole time and that he's been ultra protective of her and that he's been, whenever he's not on tour or like absolutely having to do work, he's really been around. But this is really interesting. Hollywoodlife has learned that he's actually writing love songs to Kim. And he's been inspired by his sense of just being so grateful that she was not hurt or anything worse in that robbery, and that he just thanks God every day that she wasn't taken from him.
That's not surprising to me because I feel like this was an incident that really rocked them. And I don't think it was something, of course, anyone could expect or predict. And I feel like Kim is always Kanye's muse. So I'm interested in seeing what he comes up with.
Do we have any other dirt from this party though? Because I feel like stuff had to have gone on.
Oh yes. We're saving the best for last.
Yeah.
We mentioned the gift, right? Or did we mention that? Why don't
you
got
tell
a $250,000 Rolls Royce given to her.
By who? Was that from Chris?
Oprah?
It was from the family.
Did Oprah show up? Do I get a car? You know how Oprah always gives out cars? You get a car.
What is with this family and cars? I mean, they love to get cars and give cars as presents.
Did Tyga ask if you could drive it?
I bet. No, he's probably
immediately. He's like, "Where's mine?"
Yeah, exactly. Jumped into it. And
so, did he sign the card with the car? Was it also from Tyga?
It's like from the Kardashian family and Tyga.
Yeah, they're really big on cars. I mean, I can't say that I would ever want to have a car for a birthday present, but
none of us drive, so we just don't understand.
I drive.
Car. Oh
I
yeah,
drive.
Katrina has a Beetle. I forgot.
Yeah,
I drive. But listen, I could care less about cars. But what I do care about is the fact that we have learned that Harry Styles was at the party.
Very
Dun, dun,
interesting.
dun.
Very, very interesting.
Well, we've always heard that you know Harry and Kendall have sort of had this on again, off again relationship, but we've always heard that they haven't taken it too seriously, and that they kind of, at least at Harry's mind, have left the door open for like future romance. And Kendall seems to be kind of down with it for whenever Harry's available, because he has this crazy schedule. He can't be there.
It's not just about when Harry's available. Kendall's also very busy, if not
Sure
a
is.
bit busier than he's been lately.
I know, but
since One Direction.
he's not in LA,
off.
right? And he
He has
was
been a
filming,
lot.
and
Yeah,
now
he
he's
has
back.
been. Okay, yeah.
So that would tell us if he has been back in LA
Yeah.
since he finished shooting his World War II movie
Dunkirk. Can't wait
yes.
for it. Christopher Nolan, director, amazing.
And so this would hint that he's been seeing her, because he wouldn't just randomly show up at her birthday party. But we also know that she's been dating Jordan Clarkson, the basketball player.
But didn't
Not
Harry?
fizzled.
Yeah, but also didn't Harry reach out after everything happened with Kim in Paris? I feel like we kind of heard that. They're always kind of had this, amicable situation going on. So I'm not surprised to see him there. And I do feel like the Jordan thing kind of fizzled. But I never know with Kendall. You never hear about her with a guy, and then
Well, she does that on purpose.
yeah, then all of a sudden there's a new guy.
I mean, she
so.
was hanging with A$AP Rocky for a while over the summer.
Yeah.
That was kind of happening, and then not so much. So she just keeps it on the low. We never really get to know Kendall. She's so mysterious.
What could be so interesting is with Kendall being so close to Gigi, I wonder if this could open a door for a little
yeah.
bromance with Harry and Zayn.
Again, and some double dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just a three-way with Gigi
Oh,
and
that-
Zayn.
Ew, no, that's
What?
not. How does that even?
They're
no.
young. It's time to experiment.
No.
You know what, Gino? Stop projecting what you want onto other people. I
Yeah.
think Kendall and Gigi are too busy for three ways.
Zayn-
That's a lot of coordination.
Zayn's also pretty shy.
That's true. That's true. We do know that too. But
What else on this party? It's a hot party. I'm kind of sad we couldn't have been there.
I know. Well, after Catch, they went to Delilah. It's a new hotspot in LA. They danced all night. They were at a table, and you could see all these pictures, of course, on Snapchat and Instagram and all the Kardashian channels. Scott Disick was at the party too.
Of
Courtney
course he
was
was.
there.
The
Yeah.
Lord in the house.
I know,
Yeah.
you know, they never, nobody ever leaves that family. Once you're in that orbit, you just don't leave. So Scott can screw around with a bunch of other women, and he still doesn't get booted. In a normal family,
but
they, the ex,
They
the
do
guy
have
that
children together, though.
That doesn't matter. In a normal family, that would be grounds for banishment. Never see them again.
Well, they're not
He is a
together
cast
now, though.
member too, though. So
Oh, so yeah, it's all about the producing the show.
Business.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
And he's great on the show. He's really entertaining. I've been watching the show still. I'm one of the only ones. I know the ratings are way down, but honestly, Scott is basically at the center of the show now. It's basically revolving around Scott and Chloe, because Chloe is the most willing to talk. She just has emerged so much more. I just think Kim has so much going on, and Kylie is a little camera shy, and the rest of the sisters are kind of quiet. Courtney isn't a big talker, but Chloe is very out there, and Scott is always doing some funny prank, and
Yeah.
he's also just always available. He doesn't have a lot going
Shocking.
on. He doesn't have a ton going on, So this last episode was all about him not knowing what to do with his time. He goes and shops for airlines.
Whatever happened to any of his, he's just not got any of his ventures going right now. His entrepreneurial ventures, they always end.
He does house flipping allegedly, but his main source of income, honestly, is going to parties. But we know that how much trouble that's been for him.
Yeah.
So when he's got time on his hands, what he says is he usually likes to take one of those club appearances because it's good money. You get $30,000 or maybe even more. I don't know what his rate is, but it's a bunch of cash to go and basically get drunk in Ibiza or something like that. And he can fly out there and it's super fun. But we all know what the toll that's taken on his life and his family.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and apparently he did do a shot with Kendall for her birthday last night. Even though he told Chris and Courtney he would try to tone it down, he couldn't resist.
and
and they
that's
seem to
exactly what you're
have-
not supposed to do. One shot leads to another shot.
That's true.
That's what I like about shots. Really gets the ball rolling.
Okay, but just speaking about how the show's revolving around Chloe, her romance with Tristan Thompson is hot and heavy, and she's been following him around. She's been up in Cleveland, of all places, not the usual hot spot for big celebrities, but she was there for his opening game on the Cavaliers, and then she was at the party afterwards and making out, and we caught that on video. We had that up on Hollywood Live, the kissing. Apparently LeBron James didn't love that they were making out on the dance floor.
They were licking each other's faces when they were.
Oh goodness.
He was dressed up as that Black Panther, or what was that? that character from the Marvel whatever. I don't know. I don't follow the Marvel situation. Whatever. He was like a superhero thingy.
What's really interesting, of course, but just Bonnie. Also, Jordan Clarkson and Travis Scott were also at Kendall's party, supposedly. That's what the reporting is. So she had a lot of men there.
That's right. So, what's better than one boyfriend? Three boyfriends. Yeah. Good for her.
But to take it back to Chloe, we also hear exclusively that she is shopping for a multi-million-dollar house in Cleveland, somewhere near the arena, so she can be closer.
Well, that's pretty serious. But this guy's just 25. So I wouldn't be buying any houses right now.
They got it like that, though. She can.
I mean, I guess she feels, she's ready. I think Chloe's very eager to make like her next relationship work.
I would totally go for that. I mean, I would love to see her in another happy relationship, but he's just 25. How many 25-year-old guys are ready to settle down and have a family?
And he has a baby on the way.
That's right, with another woman.
Yeah.
Yes. And apparently he's been with the other woman going to see sonograms, but FaceTiming Chloe while he's doing that. So it's a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, Chloe has to know, since his ex has a baby on the way, that she's always going to be in his life, and that's going to be a thing, right? It's not. It's not like they're just going to have fun baby time. It's going to be a situation kind of like with Tyga and Black China, and it's like when Kylie, that little complicated situation that was really hard for all of them for a long time. It seems like they've gotten past it, but.
Chloe is older though, and I think she isn't naive about it. But I just hope that whatever situation, she is ever hopeful. So
I just want to see her with the right guy. Okay, let's move along and talk about somebody who's about to have a baby, and that's Black China. And so word is that she and Rob have been offered hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a birth show, a special on the birth, and for Black to give birth in
on camera.
Yes, on camera.
Wouldn't be the first time a Kardashian did that,
No,
right?
it wouldn't.
Very interesting. I wonder what would follow next after that. Like,
I don't know, but I'd watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll all be tuning in if it happens.
Notice how Gino's just like noticeably silent. He has no interest in watching a woman give birth.
I mean, I wouldn't be in like the waiting room with a cigar. I really don't want to be in there.
You want to be pacing,
particularly not with like an HD camera. Like, I don't want to see this in 4K. I don't need it in my life.
Really takes the home video up a notch for Black and Rob.
It really does it. It's too much for me. I can't handle it.
Well. Okay, well, we'll leave. We will not ask you to do the recap of the show.
Unfortunately, I'll have to, because we'll be definitely making a video about it. So I'll be all up in there. Black China, I'm coming for you.
Some unedited footage, perhaps.
Okay, now somebody who isn't going to be having another baby sometime soon is Mariah Carey, and that's because she got dumped by billionaire James Packer. And this just gets weirder and weirder because the romance was so hot and heavy.
Yeah, and it was really whirlwind for them.
It moved along very quickly. They got engaged. He got her the most gigantic
$10 million
ring, which she doesn't want to give back. And then they were like 3 weeks ago in Greece on a yacht, and something happened. He got either flirted or he had an argument with somebody on board and who was Mariah's assistant and wasn't very nice to her. Something happened. Those are a couple of the theories.
Yeah.
But the other theory is that Scientologists have been trying to woo him to be a Scientologist, and that they convinced him.
I wonder why they want him.
Yes.
Why are they so interested in a billionaire?
That Mariah spent too much money.
Well, apparently there were reports too that he wasn't super comfortable with Mariah's reality show and just, some of her extravagant lifestyle. But I find it I don't know, if you know anything about Mariah, I don't think any of that should surprise you.
Well, that wouldn't be a surprise. You would have known that from the start.
The other report out there is that she wants $50 million to settle this whole situation, and they're not even. I mean, how?
And she wants the ring.
How is she going to get $50 million? They're not.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I know about this. Okay.
Tell us.
Well, first of all, I mean, they were really down the road to getting married. So they were putting pressure on Nick Cannon to sign the divorce papers. She already had a wedding gown.
Wait, so she's still married?
I think she was just signed the divorce papers.
Wasn't finalized. Yeah.
Yeah. What we don't know is the divorce.
It isn't the first time a celebrity's been engaged without a finalized divorce. Kim and Kanye did it.
That happens all the time. But here's the thing. If she got divorced officially in New York, then the divorce could have been done in time. But if it was California, even once the papers are signed, it's
Could sit there, yeah.
6-month waiting period. But they were pressuring him to sign off. Then she already not only had picked out her wedding dress, but the wedding dress was like being made or already made, and it was some couture gown, and the wedding was planned. The invites were all ready. Apparently, guests had their travel all booked, and the flowers were all picked out. Like everything was ready, and it was supposed to happen on March 1st. And so it wasn't just like they were kind of planning. It was very planned. And so she had a prenup already done, a detailed prenup with him. And apparently in the prenup, one of the clauses was if they split, that she gets $50 million. So she felt, I moved across from New York to LA to live with you. I gave up part of my tour to be with you. I disrupted my children's lives. And you're the one who dumped me. I was ready to get married, so I deserve the $50 million.
But a prenup applies to a marriage. They
How
are
long
they
did
are not married.
And how long did she have to stay with him to get the $50 million
I
in the
don't
prenup?
know, but
I'm sure they had to be married for her to get the money. And
Yeah, but
so
how
what about
long,
this
you know?
entitles her to $50 million?
breach of promise, Gino.
Well, chances are this
Greedy.
wedding definitely cost a pretty penny if she was getting a dress made and they were pretty much 4 months out. So maybe some damages for
Katrina
that.
would know. She just got married.
I did get married in May, and weddings are costly. So
Yes.
Have you ever seen that?
you can't just bring your wedding dress back
No,
if you don't
that's-
wear it.
That's true. Have you ever seen Mariah Carey's cribs? I mean, she lives the most lavish lifestyle you could ever imagine. She has like a three-story penthouse in Manhattan, or at least she used to.
Yeah, I
It was
remember it.
basically like 90% closet and bubble baths. I mean, her closet is bigger than anyone's apartment I've ever seen. Like, it's just.
I know, but
she
if
she might need the money. That might be why she's doing this, because the way that
Yeah.
she spends, and she doesn't really tour anymore. Because
Well, she was touring and she had to cancel those dates. So
Yeah, she canceled her dates because he convinced her to get married and to live with him.
but we've all heard her what's kind of sort of happened to her voice too.
No, I
It's-
think her voice has made a comeback.
has it.
Yeah, I
what
think
was
so.
going on with that? Because for
I
a
don't
while she
know,
was
yeah.
not. She's famous for this like 5-octave range or whatever. Don't quote me on that. Whatever. But it's a huge range. Like
Yeah.
And as you get older, you kind of lose.
No, not
that
everybody.
range.
Not everybody loses it. I think what happened is that she was going through a rough time and she hadn't been practicing and she was drinking too much champagne and she was upset over the divorce, and so her voice suffered. But I think she got healthy, and I think she also doesn't she have that Las Vegas residency too? And she got
Yeah.
paid.
That's
she
big
got paid a
cash.
ton
Yeah.
of money for that.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne mommy. That's her nickname.
I don't know. I just feel I was excited for Mariah to find love again, and I just really want to know what
I
went
still
down
liked
here.
her with Nick Cannon.
I know, but I feel like Nick Cannon was kind of over that. Don't
Over
you think
what?
so?
Carrying
Like
her train.
yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't he seem too busy to even like he's on every TV show that is filming right now?
Well, he did find some time. They celebrated Halloween together with their children, so amidst all of this going on, they did find some time to hang
I
out
like
together.
them together. Maybe they'll get back together. Apparently, they're pretty
I
friendly.
don't know. I don't see it. Do you, Gino?
I don't care.
Ah.
But
I want to know what really happened with Mariah and James, though. I feel like something went down that just isn't fully out yet.
No, it's definitely whatever happened did not come out.
And Mariah's always been outrageous. You don't get 4 months closer to the wedding date. Something's going on here.
definitely. Well, let's move it along and talk Zayn.
Yes.
We ready to talk Zayn?
Yeah,
Because
topic Gino would.
I really love Zayn, and he has released his new autobiography this week, and he's also been giving a lot of interviews, and he's made a really interesting confession about having an eating disorder. Now, if you remember when he was on his way out of One Direction, we were all sort of seeing the signs. He was missing public appearances with them.
He looked
He's looking
terrible.
so
Yes.
frail.
He was so skinny, so
So
frail.
drawn.
We were really, really worried about him, I remember.
He looked sick. He looked like he was really having a tough time.
I mean, he looked like he would blow away in a stiff
Yeah.
breeze.
Yeah.
He just was not looking great. He was very gaunt in his face. and he was MIA like all the time. And
Yeah, he missed some shows.
Yeah, he missed a bunch of shows and a bunch of public appearances. I even have red carpet footage from that time of just 4 of them because he had pulled a no-show. So we were all wondering, and so he was finally admitted that yes, at the time he said that he would go days without eating, sometimes 2-3 days without eating. He said
I don't
he
know
would.
how he did that.
He said he would forget to eat, and it's sort of related to the anxiety
right?
and depression that he's been more open about. And he wrote that this is something that he didn't think he would ever talk about, but he had this book to do and he wanted to be real with his fans. I think this is kind of a brave admission. Now, weirdly, he later also gave an interview where he said he was never diagnosed officially with an eating disorder, so he doesn't think he really had an eating disorder. So he's kind of saying both ways, but the thing is, you don't need a diagnosis to have a condition, right?
No, and look, if you're experiencing severe anxiety, if you're depressed, like your loss of appetite, all of these things could have been hand in hand with what he was going through at the time.
But I think if you're starving yourself, regardless of why it is, and it's affecting your health to that extent, then I would say yes, it's an eating disorder.
No, he said that. He said that he had an eating disorder. I like that he was honest, and he also talked a lot, of course, about his anxiety about performing and about how terrible he felt about famously canceling a Wembley Stadium performance. But listen, he seems to be so much happier now that he's in LA. He's in a relationship with Gigi. They seem very happy. She seems to give him a lot of support. He shows up for her events, and he looks he looks healthy now.
Yeah, he does look great.
And I feel like just being
And he's going to be a designer for Versace.
Yeah, versus Versace. I think it's just great to see him out on his own. I really think he kind of flourished, and I think we were all kind of nervous. We didn't know what was going on with him, and it just seemed like a really smart move.
The anxiety issue is still there, though. He's been still missing shows and sometimes unable to perform. He didn't really tour much off this album. As great as it was, he didn't give fans much who were wanting to see him. And what he said is that when he would go on stage, I think this he was talking about more recently, is that he felt like he had just forgotten how to perform.
Yeah.
And I can kind of identify with that feeling. I used to get really, really, really nervous before basketball games, and anxiety has this thing where it kind of just cripples your ability. If you're healthy and sane, abilities are a 10. When you're feeling anxiety, it just diminishes your skill level to about half.
because you're focusing on that instead of focusing on what you want to do and accomplish.
And on his own, he doesn't have the pressure of this multi-stadium tour. He
that's the other
can
thing.
Call the shots.
Yeah,
on
that's
his
the other
own.
thing he talked about, how even if 1D gets back together, that he does not want to return. He's done with 1D.
And I think it's because when you're in such a big boy band like that, and look, it's not like, oh, they're hard life, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of control over what's going on. And I think as he's matured, that's something that's really important to him as an artist. And, health should always come above all else.
because he wasn't able to do the sound that spoke to him. Okay, one last thing, because we're running out of time here. This is really interesting. Potential new couple, Brooklyn Beckham and Sophia Richie. They've been spotted out together.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now that is one cute couple.
I don't know. I really liked Brooklyn and Chloe Moretz together.
I know, but they tried it twice and it didn't work out, clearly.
they're also so super young.
I know, but then that means they're entitled to go out with other people, and I'm sure Chloe will find someone else. But Sophia is a model and he's a photographer, so they've got lots to talk about. And now she's just modeled for the new Michael Kors campaign.
That's true. Does this mean that Chloe Grace?
Oh wait, and for the new Tommy Hilfiger denim campaign,
which
Tommy
coming
told
out
us
soon.
about when he was here on our podcast.
Also on the podcast.
Does this mean that Chloe Grace Moretz is going to hook up with Justin Bieber now?
I don't think so.
I'd like to see her little revenge. I don't know.
It doesn't seem like he's her type.
Exactly.
What do you think?
No, I don't think
she has an Instagram. Come on.
I don't think he's her type.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What I love about Chloe is she is all in for serious things and politics. She's a big Hillary Clinton supporter.
I think she's a great role model. I really like her a lot.
Oh yeah, and she's very concerned about not being bullied and not having women being body shamed. Okay, we gotta run. But we will be back next week. And also you can look forward to our next celebrity interview. We've got some more coming up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff coming up. Secret sauce in the works.
That's right. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.
We're in this together. We're in this together.